Good morning, Kansas City. Welcome to another fantastic Friday. I hope you're having a great start to your day out there. And again, this is an episode of real world learning that we're featuring. It's called Life After KCPS. And we're talking to lots of people these days who have come out of our program and schools and then have come on the show to talk about what they're doing after they have gone on into their lives. I'm joined by a guest this morning that's an extra treat for me because she's in the same path I've been in of education. And it's really, rich, valuable opportunity to connect with fellow educators like this. She heard me ask just a few days ago if anybody would be interested in being on this show when I had an English meeting. And so Ms. Scott, who is with us this morning, works in the ELA department alongside of myself. And I'm going to let her kind of retrace how she found her way here. And she's going to explain to you how proud she is, I think, to have been a graduate of our district. And I would say the same. That's what we were talking about right before we started this interview. So, Ms. Scott, tell us about when you came out of one of our schools, which school, and what you kind of remember about that experience.
Okay, so I am a graduate of Southwest High School. I graduated in 1990. What I remember about high school was just the camaraderie that we had in the building. The class of 1990 was a special group. We did everything together. We had wonderful teachers. They introduced us to all different type of programs. I was introduced to the internship program called Inroads at Southwest High School. Just a wonderful, wonderful experience. I was the class president. So I had the opportunity to connect with a lot of different students, a lot of different backgrounds at Southwest High School. And Inroads was the reason why I actually ended up where I am today.
Okay, well, for people who might not know, tell people what is Inroads, or what was it? Does it still exist?
It does still exist, I believe. Inroads was an internship program where they focused on students who were interested in majoring in business, computer science, or engineering at that time. And so I was in the National Honor Society at Southwest High School. My mother taught in the district for 33 years. And my mother taught in the Kansas City Public School District for 33 years. Wow. So Inroads kind of shaped. I was in the National Honor Society. Let me rephrase this. I was in the National Honor Society in high school. My mother taught in the district for 33 years. She went to college. But college was never really instilled like you have to go to college, you have to go to college. That was not a conversation that was had in my home. However, because of the networking that the Kansas City Public School District did with the Inroads program and the opportunity that they did provide for me to even be exposed to Inroads, that got me on the trajectory to actually go into college. I was smart. I had good grades, but I just didn't have the focus. And because of the Kansas City Public Schools networking with Inroads, that got my directory into college. When I graduated in 1990, I went to Mizzou. I went to the University of Missouri, in Columbia. I majored in business. So I have a degree in business administration with emphasis in marketing. I went to work in corporate America, hated it. So in 1997, I had to figure out what in the world did I want to do with my life. Now you have to understand that my mother taught in this district for 33 years. And as I was growing up, she was like, you don't want to be a teacher because teachers don't make any money. Yeah. Okay. She was like, it's not a good financial career for you. You don't want to be a teacher because teachers don't make any money. So I heard that all my life. Mm-hmm. When I graduated from college with my business degree and worked in corporate America for like 3 years and I hated it. Then I had to discover in 1997 what I really wanted to do with my life. And so in 1997, I decided, because teaching is in my blood, I wanted to be a teacher. And so I went back to school in 1997, went to the University of Missouri, Kansas City, and got my bachelor's degree in elementary education. And I started teaching in 2000, and I have been teaching ever since. It's in my blood. I feel honored to be able to come back into the Kansas City Public School District and give some type of advice or give some type of trajectory for the children that I got when I was growing up.
Wow, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for that. You can hear the educator in Ms. Scott. That was a very detailed and thorough, with lots of evidence. Students, do you hear that answer? Like, that is solid. So thank you so much for that, Ms. Scott. And it is, kind of exciting in this way to dialogue about something that we're really passionate about. And I would have the same background. My family were basically educators. One ran a church and a preschool. And, you know, I had a mom who was an English teacher for a lot of her early days too. So it comes from somewhere. And I love how you said it was in your blood. For people who are listening, young people who are listening, kind of unpack that a little. Like, what is it about it being in your blood that makes you know you're an educator?
It just feels right. I don't know how to explain it other than it just feels like you're coming home. Like we were on virtual for a year, and now we're back in the building. And somebody asked me the very first day I came back, they were like, how do you feel? And I was like, I'll admit I was a little leery coming back, but it just feels like coming home. And so I guess that's what I mean when I say it's in my blood. This feels like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I do enjoy it. I do want to add one thing, Chris, if I may.
Absolutely.
When I first started to be a teacher, you know, you have to go through a student teaching. Mm-hmm. And I asked my mother, I was like, what school should I go to? Because they gave me a list of schools. And the best thing that happened to me was that my first grade teacher, Dr. Zora Durham, was now a principal at Satchel Paige Elementary. And so there was another connection that I had with the district. My first grade teacher was my very first principal. And that was exciting. And I mean, that was very exciting. And I learned so much from her.
Wow. Okay. So let's do a little fast forward to kind of now. And mm-hmm. Students are listening. They're wondering, like, what does your day look like? What do you do? What is your, what is your job? Because a lot of people might kind of wonder, really, if they were trying to get into a field of education, like, what is the experience like? And what do you do with your day? And how has it kind of changed, I guess, a little bit since last year? And is it changing back? I'm excited to get back to that.
Okay, so my experience, this is my second year in high school. I'm a reading interventionist, so I work with children that are 2 or 3 years behind in reading. My expertise was elementary. I guess that's the word I was looking for. I apologize. I worked in elementary for like 10 years. And then I was blessed to be able to come to high school. And what my day looks like is just a wonderful day. I'm at Purcell Performing Arts. Wonderful building, wonderful students. My day just looked like, they're greeting the kids. They're happy to see them, happy to see them. You're getting conversations in the hallway. When we come in, you just come in, you sit down, and we just get focused on what we're doing. Now, my classes are a little smaller because, like I said, I'm a reading interventionist, but it's just a wonderful day. I mean, I have to plan. I mean, every day is a plan. Let me start over. At the beginning of every week, you have to have a plan. One thing to know about education is the plan is just the blueprint. Things are going to happen that may have to change your plans a little bit, but that just makes it more exciting to me. When a little comes in that you're not doing exactly the same thing every day. Kids bring excitement to it.
I'm listening and I'm reminiscing because I worked in that building myself for 15 years. And I think if you're listening and you're wondering what is a day in the life of a teacher, it's very theatrical. Like you start off your day and you don't necessarily know how it's going to fly. And it's really amazing and fun to be in there kind of reacting and doing what you can to make it all work for the best. It's so amazing that way that the next day is going to be just like it was, the same unpredictable quality and the same need for you to try to steer and do the best job for everybody to get along. It's a really rewarding thing to do for a long time, let me tell you. So same thing I want to hear from you, Ms. Scott. Maybe you should ask a few people out there listening to pursue their dreams and maybe even think about why they could be educators. Do you think there are people who are listening that might be considering being educators? And what would you tell them if they were listening right now?
Well, I hope that they're considered being an educator because we are the reason why you're able to go to the doctor. We're the reason why you're able to go to the nurse. Any job, any place where you're able to go where there's some expertise, a teacher has touched that person's life. Mm-hmm. So this job is very, very important. Without teachers, there would be no doctors, no engineers, anything. Mm-hmm. So I hope that you're considering pursuing this because it is rewarding. It's hard, but it is rewarding. Mm-hmm. Especially when you see your children, the smile on their face. So when that light bulb actually comes on in the classroom where you see, oh, they finally got it. I had that experience last week where a couple of my kids, we were doing Cahoots. And I'm not sure if you know what Cahoots is, but it's a game that focuses on different type of different type of skills that you're teaching in your classroom. And I had a couple of students that I had last year that never made the podium. It's like podium is like you get first, second, or third place. Never made the podium. Last week, I had one that actually was in first place and one that actually made second place. And I was like, wow. So that's the type of experience. I mean, it's really undescribable when your kids actually get it.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
It's undescribable.
Okay, so we're kind of at the final stages of where we go with these interviews, and you've heard from Ms. Scott today about being an educator. You've heard me testify a little bit that it's a fantastic thing to spend your years, dedicated to, and that it's a career that, I mean, calling yourself an educator that continues to grow as you keep doing it. This is my 21st year as an educator, so it's pretty fun to still really have so much to say about it, and then to have so many memories. And the students that we taught are out there being educators themselves, or out in our community making amazing differences. So what would you say as a final thought for these young people listening? There might be words of encouragement, or something that you think you needed to hear, because you were saying you had such a high regard, and you heard from people that helped you kind of navigate those years in high school. What do you think students today really need to hear?
I think that you all need to understand that life is a journey, and that you, as you on this life journey, you will discover what you are passionate about. I think that when you do actually go into a career, you need to do what you are passionate about. Like I said, I was in the business. I had a business degree and I worked in corporate America. I was just like going through the motions, automaticity. I got up every morning, went to work, came home and just cashed my check. That wasn't passion. This is when you find something that you're passionate about, because like Mr. Odam said, he's been doing this for 21 years. This is my 20th. So when you just find something that you're passionate about, and because you're going to be working for a long time, so you want to work with something that you're passionate about, something that you enjoy. So when you go home, you're like, okay, I feel like I made a difference in the world. And I think that's one thing with education. You really do kind of feel like you make a difference in the world. I'm connected with some of my students on Facebook, and some of the things that they say about their favorite teacher, and I see my name, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling.
I would second that. And that's what this show has allowed me the opportunity to do. Some is reach out and see if the students that I worked with so long ago would want to talk about their experiences afterward. And I hear that all the time, that they remember it so highly, it's so valued. And then I tell them that's going to allow me to continue to do this, because you just filled me back up. And that's that reciprocal role. If you're listening today and you want to have that influence and that effect and that platform, please reach out to me. My name is Chris Odam. I work for Kansas City Public Schools. And this has been a fantastic additional episode of Life After KCPS. Thank you so much to our wonderful guest today, Daima Scott, who is a great reading interventionist in our district and works at another fun place to visit. If you've never seen Paseo Academy, a little commercial for them as we get back to going into person. Maybe we'll have some shows down the road. And that school has 3 wonderful theaters inside. And having worked there for so long, I got to see show after show after show. That if you've never seen a show at Paseo, make sure you're Googling it and looking for what's coming up down the road. So thank you again, Ms. Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Odam.
Shout out to all educators out there in Kansas City.
We need you. Come on.
And
come to the Kansas City Public School District.
That too. Come on board. And those young people thinking about it, it's a real profession, and it is really a great thing to do with your life. So I hope you're thinking about it. It's been a great morning here on this Friday on KCPS TV, and I will say signing off.